Jenica Atwin is the Green Party MP for Fredericton, New Brunswick, and she's getting set to take part in the virtual meeting of parliamentarians today. She joins me. Jenica Atwin, thanks for taking a few moments to speak with me today. I do appreciate it. What have you been told about how this virtual gathering is going to unfold today and how it's going to work?
Well, we did a dry run yesterday as parliamentarians, so we got to make sure all of our tech was working, and we kind of were able to see how the screen was going to look and kind of just visualize, and we actually get a dry run of questions with ministers as well. So hopefully we won't have too many technical difficulties today, but we're prepared to run through, I think it's just over 2 hours of a special COVID committee where we'll be replying to the minister's statement, and we'll be able to ask questions, put forward petitions. So it's sort of like we're back to regular business, but obviously very different from our homes.
How did the dry run go? And you talked about hopefully there won't be too many technical problems. Was it pretty smooth?
Well, I mean, sometimes people forget to unmute themselves, but that's something that we've seen through all of the Zooming or the webinars that have been happening for the last couple of weeks. So just a reminder for people to unmute themselves. A little bit of internet connectivity issues in some of the ridings. We know that especially in rural parts of Canada, it's not always as reliable as others. But other than that, I thought it went very smoothly.
What will your role be? Do you know now? Have you been guaranteed, for instance, that you'll be able to question ministers or the Prime Minister?
Yeah, so we're given kind of a rotation as independent members. So I know that today I have a ministerial reply after the Minister of Health will speak. And I also have a question today. So we have kind of, as I said, it's almost like back to normal, but just different from our homes.
Okay. How will you know if the process has been a success?
Well, I think if we get great answers from some of our questions, I think that's what the Canadian public is looking for today. We need some direction on what life is going to be like post-COVID and also kind of how we get there, the roadmap. So I'm hoping that, the success is really going to be in how we all interact today. Hopefully it's going to be very respectful and collaborative, and that's really what our goal should be.
Did you find that in the dry run, I know it's just a dry run, but I think we've heard that, well, we know what the House of Commons is normally like. It can be loud, it can be raucous, there can be lots of heckling. That doesn't lend itself, those kinds of behaviors don't really lend themselves very well to a mass gathering on a Zoom platform. Mm-hmm. Do you think this has the potential to actually deliver more results than some in-person sittings of the House?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but even yesterday there was a bit of a back and forth. There's exchanges that occur. MPs are able to unmute themselves. So, Mr. Rhoda does have the power to mute everybody. So if it does get out of hand, he can certainly intervene. But we can still, raise points of order, and we can certainly make comments. So we'll see. It should still be exciting for Canadians, but hopefully more respectful than perhaps some of the heckling we do see in the House. Yeah,
wait a minute. I mean, in the virtual sitting, the Speaker actually has more power than he does in the House, so he can actually just mute everybody. He's
exactly.
He's going to want a mute button when we get back to in-person sittings eventually. Okay, so so what is it you want to know from ministers when you get a chance to question them today? What do the Greens want answered?
Well, of course, we're looking at all of the holes that currently still exist in some of the programming. So we know there are limitations to the Canadian Emergency Benefit program. We're looking at, answers for people with maternity benefits. We're looking for answers for seasonal workers. We're looking for international students to be included in the relief for students that has been recently announced. So really our work now is just to fill the holes that exist. And I'm very confident that we can do that because really the collaboration across party lines has been incredible over the past few weeks. So we just need to keep staying on that course and, just finding the solutions that Canadians need right now.
The Greens have been against in-person sittings because of health concerns. If this works today, does that redouble the argument you would make to say, look, while this is happening, there's no need to meet in in-person sittings, although that seems to have been decided. But if this process works really well today, does it raise that issue again?
I think it does. If we can see that this works virtually in this way, what is the point of having one in-person sitting? Because it's the same amount of risk for parliamentarians and their staff and the House of Commons staff to travel to Ottawa, to cross provincial lines, so that's a difficulty for me in particular here in the East Coast of Canada. So, that one person sitting, I understand that it's more for, the theatrics, but it's also important to pass certain legislation. So we will see the bill for students being discussed tomorrow and hopefully passed. And so the difficulty is that we can't pass legislation, virtually. So we're not quite all the way there yet. So we do understand the need as it stands. But there certainly are still so many risks for those that have to travel. Elizabeth May is traveling today to be there for tomorrow. So I'm concerned about, everyone's health who's involved. And, we're very safe here at home, but I have to, think of everyone.
That's right. I mean, the House rules still require that MPs meet in person to pass legislation and to carry out those votes. Jenica Atwin, we'll look forward to see how it unfolds today. Thanks for your time.
Great. Thank you so much.